big-time crowd for a big-time series as part of SEC opening weekend here in Athens, Georgia. A top 15 showdown between the Alabama Crimson Tide and the 5th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs, picked to finish second in the SEC. Handcuffed, playable behind the plate, and it is made by bunt opportunity here, but well played by Emily Digby. Getting it over to Sydney Kuma.
Always really good about doing that, and when you get to the SEC, your schedule doesn't lighten up much at all, if at all.
Dukeshire goes down on strikes. Backus, a 1-2-3 inning to start for the Bulldogs, who will pick up the bats when we return from SEC opening weekend in Athens. In Fouts, and yet has been even better this year to start than they were last year, on a rocket up the middle by Lindy Ray Davis in a leadoff single for Georgia. That made it to the Super Regional, ultimately falling to Florida State, and she hammers one into right field, but right into the mitt of Kendall Clark, one away.
Really good swing by Sarah Mosley. Just silly. They need to use that changeup a little bit earlier.
Oh boy, Kearney into right field and gone. Jada Kearney, how do you do?
It's a 12th home run of the season for Jada Kearney. And Georgia and Jada Kearney specifically love to use the right side of the field. Some teams that you'll see will be more pull side hitters. This Georgia team, just about how the wind has changed here at this field.
Kuma to second, and Haviland on to first, 2 away.
So if you are a softball fan, have been watching a lot of SEC.
2-2, launched into center field. Back on it is Johnson, and she makes the catch a step in front of the wall. But Jada Kearney, a 2-run bomb to give Georgia the early lead.
For the second inning, despite that 3-up, 3-down inning.
9th pitch of the at-bat, misses low and away. And the first runner aboard this afternoon. Bailey Dowling with 1 on and nobody out. Rips it to short, and Armistead didn't have a play at first, but was right. Didn't hit bid into the 5th. 2-2, catches the outside corner, and it's the second strikeout of the day for Lily Backus. The payoff. Wow, what an eye by Kendall Clark, and continues the inning. We've seen a pair of walks now from Backus here in the second.
Freshman year at Alabama and the playing time, or excuse me, at A&M, the playing time she had. Oh, and then she pops out.
To first.
But she had a great opportunity to try to put her team on the board.
Backus gets out of the jam after walking a pair in this.
Of their home runs, 97% of their RBI, and then in the circle even. Returned 90% of the innings pitched, and you add Lily Backus. So that's why this Georgia team had such high expectations for
games in a row, including game 1 last night against Bama. And Gordon draws the second consecutive walk to start the bottom of the second.
To make it to the Women's College World Series and frankly have a shot at winning it.
Digby, a pop up to the right side of the infield. And Haviland there to put it away.
For Georgia with Lindy Ray Davis sitting there.
Good night. High fly ball, shallow left field, and making the play is Kenley Cahalan. 3-2 to Lindy Ray Davis, who's already singled this afternoon. Misses in the dirt, and now the bases are loaded for Sarah Mosley in the second. Had an 8-game hit streak going at one point before the Furman game, and here she is driving it deep right field. See you later, a grand slam for Sarah Mosley.
SEC in home runs. They have hit 2 today, both toward the right side of the field from their right-handed hitters. Kearney hit the first, and now Sarah Mosley. You got to give a little bit of an assist to Lindy Ray Davis, new to that leadoff spot, to draw the walk, to put the bat.
Series with 35 RBI, second in the SEC. She already has 5 in the series as Kearney goes down.
So many young softball players in their uniforms coming to the game today.
Johnson on a roller to second, 1 away, and now her sister Jenna. As Jenna pops it up left side and handled easily by Mosley, 2 gone. And Kayla told us that it's funny because sometimes they'll look out when one just had the better of the timely at-bats. And Backus now has 3 straight innings with a strikeout, a 1-2-3 third for the North Carolina transfer. Bulldogs rolling at home in SEC opening week. It's going to be Mosley at the top of the leaderboard.
Against the Alabama pitching staff that's had
been
the
terrific.
best ERA.
So what does that tell you, Amanda?
I think that because of how Georgia has tested themselves in February and early March, that they're prepared for this.
Chambly right back to the circle, handled by Brisky in her first plate appearance. Lifts one into center field, playable for Johnson. At a 1-2-3 inning for Jocelyn Brisky. We will chat with her head coach. Dukeshire into left field. Charging on, but can't get there is Chambly, and there's your first hit of the game for the Alabama Crimson Tide. You're very welcome, Patrick Murphy.
Harder hit balls that have gone at the Georgia defenders, but Lily Backus just answers right back with strikeout of Marley Giles. That curveball that worked up and in on the hands. That was such good placement on the Georgia side as well.
Dowling goes down swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts for Lily Backus after giving up the first hit of the game to Alabama.
Lily Dowling.
Fly ball to center. Goodnight shielding the sun and can't catch the ball. In from first base comes Dukeshire, and Bama is on the board for the first time this afternoon.
Having a good take by Kendall Clark to make an adjustment in this AB.
6th strikeout of the game for Backus. And she gets out of the jam. Second walk drawn of the day by Sarah Gordon.
Stop for Georgia.
Digby goes down on strikes, 1 away. But that is the way nowadays in collegiate athletics. Probably a lot of that going on all over the place as Goodnight draws a walk, and that is the second of the inning. Takes the 3-2 up the middle and into center field. They will wave around Gordon. And there's no play at the plate. An RBI single for Lindy Ray Davis.
Just seeing the ball so well. This is a changeup. She is not fooled at all. Picks it up out of the hand, and I don't know if Georgia has already picked Johnson's changeup and relayed that information, or if she just noticed it as a real home run to right center.
Mosley to left field, at the wall, and caught on the track by Johnson, but both runners will tag, so Goodnight comes in to score.
I mean, I thought that was ours and looked like it was gonna get out of here. She tomahawked that ball. That was a rise ball that she hit with her, I mean, just so high. Jenna Johnson able to track that down for an important out.
The 1-2. Kearney sprays it to the right side and into the mitt of Abby Dukeshire. So it's a 7-run deficit for Bama after staring right into the sun. Almost a play at short by Armistead, and instead it trickles into left field, a base hit for Valentine. 1-2. Slow roller. Armistead chose to go to second and won't make the play. So now 2 on and nobody out. And Bama will go back to the top of the order with Jenna Johnson. And Jenna Johnson at the top of the order. Ooh. And takes one right off the elbow guard. Bases loaded now for Callie Haviland.
This inning, bases loaded, no outs. It really would be.
0-2 gets a strikeout, her 7th.
You get spot much better than that.
2-2, fly ball to center. Again, Goodnight trying to shield the sun and can't get there. 1 run is in. Here comes another for Bama. And the Tide plate 2. Second time this game that we've seen Goodnight struggle to locate in center field, staring right up at the sun here in Athens.
I believe both were off the bat of Dukeshire, if I'm not mistaken. That ball goes so high, you can tell she's even just kind of willing Sydney Chambly to come over and try to catch it instead, coming from a different angle. But sun gets in the way of Dallas Goodnight again, and Alabama again.
Another high pop-up. This will stay in the infield. And Mosley calmly makes the play.
Gals next to me did a little bit.
I don't know if they have your playing pedigree. That caught a piece of Bailey Dowling. And now again, the bases are loaded for the Tide. Cahalan right back to the circle. Backus flips to first. And Bama strands the bases loaded, but not before picking up 2 runs. 3-2 to Kuma. Into left field. High fly ball at the wall. Gone! 3rd homer of the day for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Makes them so dangerous is that they have opposite field power and they have pull power. This is another changeup that just doesn't quite look slow enough. And so Sydney Kuma able to get on time with it, and a towering shot into the...
Their opening SEC series 2-1 against Florida. Hard hit ball to center and down for a base hit for Sydney Chambly. And you talked about it with me before the series. It's so hard to win the SEC. You're in for a dogfight. Armistead to left field, charging on is Johnson, and produces the first out of the inning.
And Jayla Torrance had not even given up a home run this season.
First pitch swinging. A 8 or more after 5 innings. And that caught a piece of Ellison, and that loads the bases for Dallas Goodnight.
Winning run at second base.
Rolls it through the right side of the infield. 1 run is in. Here comes another, and it is over in Athens. Dallas Goodnight walks it off. It's almost like you spoke that into existence, Amanda Scarborough.
You can see so much celebration for each other, and that Georgia celebrating this win. That Dallas Goodnight hit that ball hard past Dukeshire. So what she's looking to try to do is to come up, hit the ball hard, find a way to end this game, and she does it despite her 2 mistakes because of the sun balls out in center field. Georgia comes away with this win 11-3.